Hello, what have we here? Take a seat here by the fire and let me tell you about a story from a galaxy far, far away. Friends Jedi is unnecessarily cruel has freak out at the table when there's consequences r/RPG horror stories posted by Friends Tech. So, this story is very old from my teenage years. I had gotten into TTRPGs through the Star Wars role-playing game Revised Edition. Over the summer, I had come up with a campaign and put together a small group consisting of myself, my younger bro, his friend, I'll call him Troy, and Troy's older brother, referred to here as Brody. This was my very first RPG group, and when looking back, incident aside, I was lucky that things went generally pretty well. When we first started playing, it was just three of us. My brother and Troy rolled up a pair of interesting human characters. My bro made a aspiring bounty hunter, and Troy made a hotshot pilot / con artist. Totally not inspired by any anime we were watching at the time. LOL. Despite a small group, things actually went very well for a while. The campaign was fairly open world, but my bro and Troy were great at following plot threads, and I rewarded them for good RP. Honestly, if things ended here, this would be an RPG success story instead. Then, Brody joined. For a while, the only things we could complain about was that our group was small. I scaled things pretty decently for only 2 players, but it wasn't easy, and the guys agreed that they needed to round out the group. Now, Brody was sort of that guy of our friend group as it was. Always inserted himself into everything, was one of those dudes who had to one-up everything, or change the rules of a game so he had some sort of advantage, and reacted badly to losing. But hey, we were basically still young kids, so we just dealt with it. He was Troy's older brother, and we put up with it to play the games we otherwise wouldn't be able to. So, Brody rolls up a character and wants to be a Wookiee Jedi. I told him it was alright, but that his rage feature could be problematic for you if you want to maintain the lifestyle of Jedi at the time. I explained to him about dark side corruption and he said he understood. We worked it out and I knew it would be a cool RP opportunity later on and that I wouldn't really punish him for it. He insisted on being a Jedi from the temple on Coruscant and wanted to adhere to the Jedi way. This is important information for later. So it's a couple sessions in and things are going okay with him. He didn't RP much, but his character was helpful and it was neat to have someone with force powers in the party. It was late in the campaign and the group was around level 10 or so. The bounty hunting duel of my bro and Troy had gotten pulled into this conspiracy involving a dark side pirate cult that were secretly helping build tensions in the outer rims that would help set the scene for the Clone Wars. Party infiltrated the ship and were discovered by guards in a leisure room with an attached lavatory. They managed to quickly kill a pair while stunning a third, but the alarm was raised. Preparing for a tense fight, my brother with his superior armaments set up a defensive position while Troy snuck around to ambush enemies. As for Brody, he decided that the best thing to do in the situation was to stay in the bathroom and slowly strangle the incapacitated guard to death over several rounds. Yeah. So the way the rules seem to suggest that during combat, it took several rounds for someone to suffocate depending on their con score and other factors. The group tried to reason with them to leave the guy since he was unconscious and help them fight the very active pirate squad that were coming in from every angle. He says, "Nah, this is what my character would do." Thinking this is a potential RP scenario, I asked if his character went into a Wookiee rage. He says, "Nah, I just want to." I say, So, your light side Jedi character wants to spend several rounds of combat slowly strangling a helpless combatant. Then, I clarified that this doesn't adhere to the Jedi playbook at the time and asked him if he's sure. He says, "Yeah, why not?" "Okay, if you're sure." Having warned him enough, we proceed with combat. Troy and my bro manage to fight off the pirates on their own while their big tough Wookiee Jedi ally slowly strangles an unconscious guy near a toilet. Every other round or so they would try to out of character try to reason with him, even saying, "Dude, just stab the guy and come help us, jeez." They barely survive and manage to finish combat just in time for the unconscious dude to finally perish. Figuring it was an isolated incident, they decide to move on with the mission, but at the end of combat, I explained to Brody that he needed to mark a dark side point on his character sheet. It wasn't a big deal, he needed several to become corrupt, and this was his first dark side point. I tell him that the reason was he spent time to very deliberately perform a cruel act on a helpless enemy while also putting his friends in danger. But I also assure him that it's no big deal as he can atone for it later through good deeds and meditation. He flipped his He threw things, cursed, said the game was dumb, said I was dumb, said I didn't warn him, I did, and I thought I was very reasonable, and he left. So yeah, we ended the session, and the following session, he never came back. I roleplayed that his character stayed behind on the ship to fend off the enemies so the other two could escape, and left his fate ambiguous, just in case. I didn't want to be spiteful. I know this one isn't as intense or shocking as other stories on here, but it's one I'll never forget because of how sudden it was. It was completely isolated from the rest of the campaign, and in the context of the game came out of left field. Of course, knowing Brody, it wasn't entirely surprising that he would behave that way. Years later, my brother and I tell this story and look back at, if almost fondly. Well, all I gotta say is that you did give him proper warning. It sounds like your friend's brother wanted to do whatever he wanted without any of the consequences, and really, being a Jedi comes with a lot of rules and regulations. And that's our story. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more future content. Also, if you would kindly follow the socials posted in the description, that would be amazing. As always, be good, be great, be awesome.